Hello everyone. I am going to go ahead and do another draw along video on this happy fish. This is not required. It is just a project if you want to do one and you enjoy drawing and making art. I would love to see them submitted in Artsonia so I can see the beautiful artwork that you're making, but again, it is not required and will not be graded. So don't feel like you have to do it, just for fun if you want to. So this is what we're gonna be drawing and making, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started and show you how to do it. So the first step is make sure that your paper is horizontal, which is side to side like this, and you're gonna start by making your fish body. So all I'm doing is making a big curved line across my paper like this. Leave some room for your tail and the fins on the top and the bottom. Then I'm gonna make the opposite direction, same thing, kind of like a big eyeball. I'm gonna go ahead and make the tail. You can make your tail however you want. I'm just making a wavy line towards the bottom and top corners. Then I'm gonna make a wavy line to connect my tail. Again, you can make it however you want. It does not need to be like mine. I'm gonna split my tail in the middle and then just make a wavy line going up both sides of the tail. I'm gonna go ahead and do the fins the similar way. So I'm just gonna start on the top and make a wavy line out towards the top of the paper and back down. And then again, split the fin in half with a wavy line. And same thing on the bottom. Wavy line down and connect, split it in half with a wavy line. Always remember that if I am going too fast, you can pause the video at any time and catch up. I'm gonna make a big curved line for my fish face. You can do any kind of eyeball you like. I know that you like to do different kinds of eyeballs. If you want to give it eyelashes, whatever you like. Remember, this one is just for fun and just what you want it to be. I'm going to add the gills on my fish. This helps the fish breathe, so I'm just putting a few lines underneath the eye. And I said it was a happy fish, so I'm gonna make a big smiley face and the mouth is gonna be open. Again, make it your own. You do not have to do the same thing as me. Now, fish have scales on their bodies, so I'm gonna just make these bumps all along the fish body. And I decided that I didn't like for them to be just plain. I wanted my fish to have really detailed, beautiful, colorful scales. So once you fill the whole body with these bumps, then I went back in and I added these kind of V or triangle shapes inside each fin to make them a little bit more interesting and give my fish a little bit more detail. Again, you could do any kind of shape. Maybe you want to put a heart or a polka dot or a star inside your fin. It doesn't have to be the same thing that I did. Once you have your fish drawn, you can start thinking about your background. I added some seaweed, like my fish is swimming through a coral reef. So I have a few pieces of seaweed with just wavy lines coming up from the bottom. Then I drew a line at the bottom for the sand, and I wanted my fish to be in front of the sand. So notice I didn't go through the fin when I drew it. Then I had some bubbles coming out of my fish's mouth, 3 big circles, and I wanted it to look like the light was shining down, like the sunlight going through the water was shining down on my fish. So I made these 3 triangles in the corner to make it look like there was light coming down on my fish. Now, once you have your fish drawn, I am using these Crayola washable watercolors. It's a set of 16. I got them from Amazon, and I really like them because they have some extra colors besides the normal 8. And the kids really like to use them at school because they've got this bright blue, the bright green, this kind of cool orange, red orange. It has some more unique colors besides just the normal 8-pack. I also have a mixing tray so that I can mix colors if I want to, and a water bucket for the watercolors. If you don't have watercolors, use whatever you want to use to color your fish at home. Crayons, markers, oil pastels, chalk, whatever it is that you have, you can use. It's up to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my brush wet. You always have to wet your brush first with watercolors. And then remember, you swirl it in the color you wanna use. And I'm using this light blue for the water. And then you go ahead and spread it out on your paper. Now I am using a little bit thicker of a drawing paper. If you are using copy paper, you're gonna wanna be really careful when you're painting because it can easily rip. It's a little bit thinner than what I'm using. If you have watercolor paper at home, that would be excellent because it will keep your paper from warping when you paint. Now notice I am re-dipping my brush in the water every time before I swirl it in the paint. If I don't re-dip it in the water every time, then it's going to get sticky and my paint is not going to spread out very well on my paper. And we should never, ever, ever be squishing the paintbrush. You dance like a ballerina and use the point of the brush only as you paint. So I'm going to show you how to mix colors, and then I will show you the finished fish, what it looks like when it's all painted in. So if you want to mix colors for your fish, like let's say I wanted to mix a really light green for my fish fin. I'm going to rinse out my brush first, wipe it on a paper towel, make sure that it's nice and clean. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start with this bright green, swirl it in the bright green, but I want it to be even brighter than this. So I'm swirling it in this paint color, and I'm just gonna kind of twist my brush into one of these little mixing trays. Just swirl it in the green, twist it in the mixing tray. Then I'm gonna get some yellow because yellow makes the green brighter. So I'm swirling it in the yellow, and I'm gonna add that to my bright green. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water just to make more paint. So notice I washed out my brush in between colors. Always, always, always wash out your brush in between colors. And I'm gonna use this bright, bright green on one part of my fin and the other fin and the tail, so they kind of match. And if you run out of the color, you can just remix it. Same thing. Start with one color, twist it in the tray, wash out your brush, get the other color, mix it together, and then add just a little bit of water just to make it last a little bit longer. So you're gonna keep going, making sure to wash out your brush in between colors, always dipping in the water and swirling. And by the time you're finished, you should have your whole paper filled up with the scales colored in, the fins colored in, the sand, the water, and your beautiful fish should be nice and colorful. I can't wait to see your happy fish and see how awesome they are. We all miss you and we hope you're doing well.